Hi there, Careblazer. Welcome back to another episode of Careblazers TV. Today, I want to talk about a common struggle that many of you go through and talk to me about, and that's the struggle of having to make a decision for your loved one that your loved one does not agree with. It's basically the struggle of you having to do something that you think is in your loved one's best interest, but your loved one does not want you to do. These are struggles like trying to stop or prevent your loved one from driving a car because they're no longer safe to do so, or having to step in and help manage your loved one's finances because they've been making a lot of mistakes, missed payments, and have been a victim of a scam. Or perhaps even stopping your loved one from cooking and using the stove because that's too dangerous, or going out on a walk on their own because they've gotten lost. These types of examples, situations that are a safety risk to your loved one and they want to continue to do them, but you're kind of in this position of having to stop them, and it's really hard on a lot of you, and I just want to talk about this further today. I first just want to start off saying that many times the hardest, toughest decisions that you are going to have to make as a Careblazer are also the right decisions. The decisions that you make that are difficult for you, that you don't really want to have to make, those also tend to be sometimes the right decision or the best decision for your loved one. You are a Careblazer for your loved one because your loved one now needs help. Their brain is literally deteriorating. Their brain is dying a slow death. They are no longer able to do things that they've always been able to do in the past. They're no longer able to, in their minds, make sense of a lot of things. And so that's where you're stepping in. That's where you're filling in the gaps and providing that care. Your loved one may not always see it that way. Your loved one may not have the ability to see it that way. Sometimes in dementia, they have this thing where they don't really even notice or understand or believe that they have any problems at all. And so they see you as somebody who's getting in the way a lot. But as a Careblazer, you are there to help your loved one. And part of being a Careblazer means you're having to step in and make decisions that are very difficult, that your loved one's not going to agree with. And you kind of still have to do them because it's in your loved one's best interest. I'm going to give you an example and a way to think about this that I hope can really help you and help you feel like feel more comfortable with some of those difficult decisions. I'm about to explain an example that I think will help a lot of you guys feel more comfortable with some of those difficult decisions. But first, I just want to say, you cannot make your goal be that your loved one agree with everything that you do or everything you decide. That can't be your goal because that's a losing battle. Your loved one is not going to agree with everything you decide and everything you do. If your loved one has dementia, there's going to be things that you have to step in and do that they're not going to want, and that's just part of this Careblazing journey. Okay, here is an example I want you to think about. I think many people can relate to this, and that's the example of raising a kid. Now, please know, I mean no disrespect when I'm using this example. I'm not trying to compare an older adult to a kid at all. I just think there's a lot of parallels and similarities, and that this can start to make more sense in people's minds. So I think if you've been following me for a while, you know that's not my intention, but I just want to say that in case this is your first time watching me. Okay, so when people are raising kids, the parent often has to make decisions and put boundaries in place that kid is not going to agree with, right? If a 5-year-old wants to go for a walk and wake up in the middle of the night at 1 a.m. and go out the door, most parents are not going to allow that to happen. If your 7-year-old on a school night wanted to stay up and drink a liter of Coke and eat a bag of Cheetos, most parents aren't going to let that happen. If you were on a family vacation and there was an ocean and your kid doesn't know how to swim yet, but your kid wanted to jump in the ocean, most parents are not going to let that kid go jump in the ocean, right? And the kid might kick and yell and scream and say, "You are the worst mom ever," "You're the worst dad ever," or "I hate you," right? They might say all these things out of anger and spite, but that parent doesn't question whether or not they're a good parent. They know, okay, that's a safety issue. I'm doing the best I can for my child. They might feel a little bit sad about it. It's hard to hear a child say those things to you, just like it might be hard to hear your loved ones say those kinds of things to you. But you have to know deep in your heart that you are making the right decision, a good decision to help protect your loved one. I think where a lot of people get mixed up or get stuck is that you're caring for an adult and you are trying to stop them or help them with things that they have been able to do on their own for most of their life. So it feels odd, it feels uncomfortable, it almost feels bad that you're having to do this for them because it's running through your mind of they've been doing this all their life. But the brain, you have to understand, is dying and starting to deteriorate, and they no longer have those abilities. So that's what you're trying to do, is come in and fill in and help and make those decisions where they need to be made. Have confidence in yourself, Careblazer. Trust yourself. Know that as long as you are trying to do what's best for your loved one with dementia, sometimes it's going to come with pushback. Sometimes they're not going to agree with you. Sometimes they're going to say bad things to you because they're angry and they don't understand what's going on. But know that you are doing the absolute best you can. That is all you can do. And remind yourself that sometimes the hardest decisions are the right decisions, and your goal cannot be to get your loved one to constantly agree with everything that you're saying or constantly agree with all the decisions that you're making. That can't be a goal for you, okay? I hope this video was helpful. If you want to leave any comments below about what you thought about the video, about how you've handled these situations in your own personal life, have you ever had to kind of step in and stop your loved one from doing something they wanted to do? And how did that go? How did you handle that? How did you navigate that process? I look forward to reading your responses. I'll be back next week with another video, Careblazer. In the meantime, keep up the good work.